The moment it was made clear that the end of third-party cookies was a very real possibility, the entire digital ecosystem hit the ground running in search of safe, effective alternative methods for data collection. And with that, an unlikely hero emerged: hashed email. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm part of our marketing team here at Playwire, and to help us walk through the complexities and benefits of hashed email, we have with us Playwire Chief Technology Officer, Nick Brandstatter. What is email hashing, and why is it making such a splash across the digital ecosystem right now?
So email hashing is a technique to take the email addresses that we see from our users and make it available to various people in the ad tech ecosystem who can leverage that information and turn it into more revenue for a website. What are we doing when we hash an email? What are we even talking about? Hashing is the process of encrypting that email in a way that's what we would call one-way encryption. What that means is if I take an email address and I apply this hashing, I can't undo it. I can't look at that encrypted version and plug in some key and get the original version of the email out. That's really important for user privacy. It's also important for publishers or anybody else who's collecting these emails, because if you're collecting the emails, you're responsible for them. You're responsible for the possibility of a hacker coming in and securing them and maybe getting a lot of information about users that you don't really, or anybody doesn't want to have exposed.
What are the benefits of using hashed emails?
If we think about what was happening when we had universal access to cookies, we had a way that we could take a user and track them as they went from site to site to site, understanding more information about their interests, their buying patterns, and things like that. Now that more and more browsers are restricting cookies so that they can't go across sites, advertisers are looking for new ways to say, hey, this is the same person. I'm seeing them on this site, I'm seeing them on this site. And the email address, specifically the hashed email address, is becoming the most common way to accomplish that. So hashed emails are really, really important these days as a way to allow advertisers to keep doing the same things that they've wanted to do in the past when it comes to the targeting of users. And so for publishers, it's really important to embrace this so that you can get all of the great CPMs, the great revenue that comes from any sort of advertising that can be targeted to a user as opposed to applied more broadly.
There are clearly a ton of benefits to using a hashed email solution. What are the potential challenges to be aware of?
So one of the tricks with hashed emails is, first of all, can you get an email from the user in the first place? Some websites have natural excuses to do so. They've got sections of their site that require a user to log in. That's certainly the most common. Or maybe they're asking users for their email addresses for a newsletter. They're doing something that's creating a value proposition where it makes sense for the user to go ahead and offer up their email in exchange for something, usually content in some form. And then the challenge within the industry is making sure that we have a standard way to share this information, but also share it in a way that's protected. How does it work? It basically says, okay, here's my original email address. I'm going to use this one-way key to turn it into this hashed version. I'm going to save that piece of information and I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with other people who also have hashed emails. As long as we all use the same method of encryption, even if none of us can ever back it out to an actual email address, what we can do is say, oh, it's the same user again. So the existence of hashing is what allows us to overcome a big challenge, which is the security and privacy problem. A way to keep recognizing users as they move around the internet while not creating a sort of legal or privacy exposure that nobody wants.
Let's shift more specifically to Playwire's hashed email solution. Can you break down how Playwire's hashed email API works and what makes it a unique offering?
So at Playwire, what we decided was we needed to really enable our publishers to offer up these emails and convert them into something that the industry could use simply, efficiently, and powerfully. It's a solution where all you as a publisher have to do is recognize I have this email address, pull it, and drop it into the page. From there, we collect it, and there's nothing the publisher has to do. Our own scripts will recognize that the email address is there. We collect it, we hash it in all three of the ways that the industry has settled on, and then we start passing it to different entities. We pass it to data marketplaces, for example. We pass it to certain header bidders who can leverage that information. We pass it into our own data management platform, and we create audience segments that then DSPs and other buying entities can transact upon. And we keep building upon that. What we've got really is a platform for hashed emails where it's easy for you as a publisher to plug into it, and where we're just over time building out more and more ways in which that can be turned into revenue. And some of those are very passive. They're just ways where different buyers can say, yeah, oh, I see this user. I've seen them in my own databases. It's the same user. I'm ready to buy an ad that I wasn't ready to buy before. Or I'm willing to pay a higher rate for that ad than I would have if I weren't able to establish that attribution for the user. And in other cases, it allows our direct sales team to go out and sell packages that they couldn't sell before, because they can say, not only do I have this group of users where I can say really interesting things about their interests and behaviors, things that Playwire naturally does, but I can also say, and I have their hashed emails. So I can give you this greater level of confidence, and I can allow you to match that up against your own information and create really interesting data sets that you as an advertiser can leverage to get just the targeting that you want. The message that we've gotten over and over from the marketplace, and which we've seen in practice, is that that combination, unique data with a hashed email, is gold in the industry. And we want to just make it as easy as possible for every publisher that we work with to get access to some of that gold.
Thanks for joining us, Nick. And if you're interested in learning more about email hashing and Playwire's hashed email API solution, please visit our website.
Or if you're watching on YouTube, click the link below in the description of this video.